Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Blake's Everyday Podcast. I don't know if that angle's a little bit better. All right. Let's get right into it. No hockey tonight. Of course, it is Friday. There are some pay-per-views on that we can all check out, which is pretty cool. It's kind of crazy how less of pay-per-views there are now, though, which is really cool. I mean, the fact that you get UFC on paid subscription now, that's kind of nice, especially because, way back when I was younger, I remember, I'm still, no, I'm not. I'm almost 30. Who am I kidding? I'm not young. But I guess when I was about, like, pretty much when I was first starting to get into UFC, it's kind of crazy how far we've come. I mean, when I was younger, like I was saying, it's just like, somebody had to pay basically $60 to get the pay per view, which is kind of crazy. And when you'd order the pay per view, it'd be only for one TV, which to me is pretty crazy. We did finish chapter 24 last night, so tonight we are starting off at chapter 25. It looks like it gets pretty good though, and yeah, it looks like chapter 26 is pretty wild. I'm just kind of skimming here, but yeah, I think there's no doubt that we're gonna get decently far tonight. But once we finish let's say we finish chapter 27 tonight. It looks like after tonight, oh my gosh, my freaking thumbs. Wow. Obviously, we're not going to finish the book of Numbers tomorrow, but there is only 36 chapters. So, we will finish next week at some point, which is pretty cool. I don't want to speak too far ahead, though. But when that time comes, we can pat ourselves on the back. Man. All right. I'm not going to take too much of the time other than just reading. So let's go ahead and get started. So chapter 25, the title for chapter 25 is Moab Seduces Israel. So let's see where this goes. While Israel was staying in Shittim, the men began to indulge in sexual immorality with Moabite women, who invited them to the sacrifices to their gods. The people ate the sacrificial meal and bowed down before these gods. So Israel yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor, and the Lord's anger burned against them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of these people, kill them, and expose them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the Lord's fierce anger may turn away from Israel." So Moses said to Israel's judges, "Each of you must put to death those of your people who have yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor." Then an Israelite man brought into the camp a Midianite woman right before the eyes of Moses and the whole assembly of Israel while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. I don't know why, when I was reading that, my immediate brain wanted to say Mennonite woman, but it's Midianite. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and followed the Israelite into the tent. He drove the spear into both of them, right through the Israelite man and into the woman's stomach. Then the plague against the Israelites was stopped. But those who died in the plague numbered 24,000. The Lord said to Moses, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, has turned my anger away from the Israelites. Since he was zealous for my honor among them, as I am, I did not put an end to them in my zeal. Therefore, tell him I am making my covenant of peace with him. He and his descendants will have a covenant of a lasting priesthood, because he was zealous for the honor of his God and made atonement for the Israelites. The name of the Israelite who was killed with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, the leader of a Simeonite family. And the name of the Midianite woman who was put to death was Cosbi, daughter of Zur, a tribal chief of a Midianite family. The Lord said to Moses, treat the Midianites as enemies and kill them. They treated you as enemies when they deceived you in the Pur incident involving their sister Cosbi, the daughter of a Midianite leader, the woman who was killed when the plague came as a result of that incident. Okay. Yeah, Numbers is getting crazy. Chapter 25, verses 1 through 18. After God's victory over the false gods of Balaam, the Israelites were quickly seduced into Canaanite worship. Through this story, we can see how clever and diverse Satan's strategies are. When unsuccessful in his attack from the outside, he succeeded in bringing decay from within. Israelite participation in immoral Canaanite worship practices resulted in the judgment of 24,000 of God's people. This shows how important our personal morality is to God. Wow. Dang. That's wild. So chapter 26, the title is The Second Census. After the plague, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, take a census of the whole Israelite community by families, all those 20 years old or more who are able to serve in the army of Israel. So on the plains of Moab, by the Jordan across from Jericho, Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them and said, take a census of the men 20 years old or more, as the Lord commanded Moses. These were the Israelites who came out of Egypt. The descendants of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel, were through Hanok, the Hanokite clan, through Palu, the Paluite clan, through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Carmi, the Carmite clan. These were the clans of Reuben. Those numbered were 43,730. The son of Palu was Eliab, and the sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. The same Dathan and Abiram were the community officials who rebelled against Moses and Aaron and were among Korah's followers. When they rebelled against the Lord, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them along with Korah, whose followers died when the fire devoured the 250 men. And they were served as a warning sign. The line of Korah, however, did not die out. The descendants of Simeon by their clans were through Nemuel, the Nemulite clan, through Jamin, the Jaminite clan, through Jachin, the Jachinite clan, through Zerah, the Zerahite clan, through Shaul, the Shaulite clan. Oh my gosh. Those were the clans of Simeon. Those numbered were 22,200. The descendants of Gad by their clans were through Zephon, the Zephonite clan, through Haggi, the Haggite clan, through Shuni, the Shunite clan, through Ozni, the Oznite clan, through Eri, the Erite clan, through Arodi, the Arodite clan, through Areli, the Arelite clan. These were the clans of Gad. Those numbered were 40,500. And Onan were sons of Judah, but they died in Canaan. The descendants of Judah by their clans were through Shelah and the Shelonite clan, through Perez the Perizzite clan, through Zerah the Zerahite clan. The descendants of Perez were through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Hamul, the Hamulite clan. These were the clans of Judah. Those numbered were 76,500. The descendants of Issachar by their clans were through Tola, the Tolite clan, the Toliat clan, through Pua, the Puite clan, through Jeshub, the Jeshubite clan, through Shimron, the Shimrite clan. These were the clans of Issachar. Those numbered were 64,300. The descendants of Zebulun by their clans were through Serah, the Serahite clan, through Elon, the Elonite clan, through Jahil, the Jahilite clan. These were the clans of Zebulun. Those numbered were 60,500. The descendants of Joseph by their clans through Manasseh and Ephraim were the descendants of Manasseh, through Machir, the Machirite clan. Machir was the father of Gilead. Through Gilead, the Gileadite clan. These were the descendants of Gilead. Through Ezer, the Israelite clan, through Hilek, the Helekite clan, through Azriel, the Azraelite clan, through Shechem, the Shechemite clan, through Shemida, the Shemite clan, through Hepher, the Hepherite clan. Zelophehad, son of Hepher, had no sons. He had only daughters, whose names were Malal, Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. So this guy named his daughter Noah. I just want to make that clear. These were the clans of Manasseh. Those numbered were 52,700. These were the descendants of Ephraim by their clans through Shuthelah, the Shuthelahite clan, through Becher, the Becherite clan, through Tahan, the Tanite clan. These were the descendants of Shuthelah, through Eran, the Eranite clan. These were the clans of Ephraim. Those numbered were 32,500. These were the descendants of Joseph by their clans. The descendants of Benjamin by their clans were through Bela, the Belalite clans, through Eshbel, the Eshbelite clan, through Ahiram, the Ahiramite clan, through Shupham, the Shupham, Benjaminite clan, through Hupham and the Huphimite clan. The descendants of Bela through Ard and Naaman were through Ard, the Ardite clan. Through Naaman, the Naamite clan. These were the clans of Benjamin. Those numbered were 45,600. These were the descendants. My bad. I keep on saying defendants. These were the descendants of Dan by their clans. Through Shuham, the Shuhamite clan. These were the clans of Dan. All of them were Shuhamite clans. And those numbered were 64,400. Wow, that's a lot for one clan. The descendants of Asher by their clans were through Amnah, the Amnite clan, through Ishvi, the Ishvite clan, through Bera, the Berite clan, and through the descendants of Beria, through Heber, the Heberite clan, through Malchil, the Malchilite clan, Asher, and a daughter named Sarah. These were the clans of Asher. Those numbered were 53,400. The descendants of Naphtali by their clans were through Jasil, the Jasilite clan, through Guni, the Gunite clan, through Jezer, the Jezerite clan, through Shalem, the Shalemite clan. These were the clans of Naphtali. Those numbered were 45,400. The total number of men of Israel was 601,730. The Lord said to Moses, "The land is to be allotted to them as inheritance based on the number of names. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Each is to receive its inheritance according to the number of those listed. Be sure that the land is distributed by lot. What each group inherits will be according to the names of for its ancestral tribe. Each inheritance is to be distributed by lot among the larger and smaller groups. These were the Levites who were counted by their clans through Gershon, the Gershonite clan, through Kohath, the Kohathite clan, through Merari, the Merarite clan. These were the Levite clan. These also were Levite clans. The Libnite clan, the Hebronite clan, the Malhite clan, the Mushrite clan, the Korahite clan. Kohath was the forefather of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, a descendant of Levi, who was born to the Levites in Egypt. To Amram she bore Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. Aaron was the father of Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they made an offering before the Lord with unauthorized fire. All the male Levites a month old or more numbered 23,000. They were not counted along with the other Israelites because they received no inheritance among them. These are the ones counted by Moses and Eleazar, the priest, when they counted the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. Not one of them was among those counted by Moses and Aaron, the priest, when they counted the Israelites in the desert of Sinai. For the Lord had told those Israelites they would surely die in the wilderness, and not one of them was left except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Okay, so that was the chapter 26. That was chapter 26. Dang, now I know why chapter 26 was long. Man. Holy moly. Guacamole. Chapter 26, verses 1 through 65. The census in chapter 1 was taken primarily for organizational purposes. This later census was intended to prepare Israel for the conquest of the Promised Land and later division of property. The decrease in numbers from the census taken 40 years earlier was primarily due to the judgments suffered by Israel in the wilderness. It's pretty crazy. There is definitely a big lack of people compared to what they did have. Oh man, chapter 27 is going to be... I'm hoping it gives a little bit more than just the census. That's one thing that kind of stinks is the census, and that always makes me tired. The censuses, and then where we're explaining every little detail on how the tabernacle was built. It is important. That way we can see. Way God knew his stuff. He was telling them exactly how to build it, which is cool because if you were to follow those instructions today, you'd probably build the tabernacle. But to me, I'm sitting here reading this and I'm like, woo-wee, getting tired. So I'm really hoping chapter 27 wakes me up a little bit. It'd be really cool to get through chapter 28 because we haven't done that in a while, where we've read 4 chapters instead of 3, or even we did 3 chapters for the last couple videos, but we haven't we haven't done 4 in a while, so 4 would be kind of crazy. I don't think we've read 4 since probably Leviticus. Well, maybe even before Leviticus. Maybe Exodus. So if we were to read 4 chapters tonight, which we might just do that. That'd be pretty crazy. We read 4 chapters tonight. If we read until the end of chapter 28, and that'd leave us with 6 chapters left, and then we could read 3 chapters tomorrow, and then 3 chapters Sunday. We'd be done with the book of Numbers, which would be kind of wild. It's not impossible. That's a big thing to remember. It's not impossible. But let's go ahead and read chapter 27 before I change my mind, because don't want to do that. So the title for chapter 27 is Zelophehad's daughters. The daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughters were Malah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They came forward and stood before Moses, Eleazar, the priest, the leaders, and the whole assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among Korah's followers, who banded together against the Lord, but he died for his own sin, and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan? Because he had no son. Give us property among our father's relatives. So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to him, What Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives, and give their father's inheritance to them. Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, give his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative and his clan, that he may possess it. This is to have the force of law for the Israelites, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go up this mountain in the Abiram range and see the land I have given the Israelites. After you have seen it, you too will be gathered to your people, as your brother Aaron was. For when the community rebelled at the waters in the desert of Zin, both of you disobeyed my command to honor me as holy before their eyes. These were the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the desert of Zin." Moses said to the Lord, "May the Lord, the God who gives breath to all living things, appoint someone over this community to go out and come in before them, one who will lead them out and bring them in, so the Lord's people will not be like sheep without a shepherd." So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the spirit of leadership, and lay your hand on him. Have him stand before Eleazar the priest and the entire assembly, and commission him in their presence. Give him some of your authority, so the whole Israelite community will obey him. He is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who will obtain decisions for him by inquiring of the Urim before the Lord. At his command, he and the entire community of the Israelites will go out, and at his command they will come in." Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and had him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole assembly. Then he laid his hands on him and commissioned him, as the Lord instructed through Moses. Okay, we only have one description for this chapter. So the torch, chapter 27, verses 12 through 23. The torch of Israel's leadership was passed from Moses to Joshua. Moses was able to view the land of Canaan, but was not allowed to enter it because of his earlier failure. Rather than being self-centered and overcome with disappointment, his greatest concern was still for his people. The attitude reflected in his words reveal his godly character. May the Lord, the God who gives breath to all living things, appoint someone over this community to go out and come in before them, one who will lead them out and bring them in, so the Lord's people will not be like sheep without a shepherd. Moses was content with God's plan for him. We, like Moses, must learn to be content with God's plan for us, even when it brings us temporary disappointments along the way. God always desires what is best for us. I like that. We are gonna go ahead and read chapter 28. I think that's the best option we have here. I mean, I don't see why not, right? Just keep going. I might regret this, but let's go for it. So the title for chapter 28 is Daily Offerings. The Lord said to Moses, "Give this command to the Israelites and say to them, make sure that you present to me at the appointed time my food offerings as an aroma pleasing to me. Say to them, this is the food offering you are to present to the Lord, 2 lambs a year old without defect, as a regular burnt offering each day. Offer 1 lamb in the morning and the other at twilight, together with a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with 1/4 of hin of oil from pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma to food offering presented to the Lord. The accompanying drink offering is to be a quarter of a hin of fermented drink with each lamb. Pour out the drink offering to the Lord at the sanctuary. Offer the second lamb a twilight along with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering that you offer in the morning. This is a food offering and aroma pleasing to the Lord. On the Sabbath day, make an offering of 2 lambs a year old without defect, together with its drink offering, and a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of the finest of the finest flour mixed with olive oil. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the first of every month, present to the Lord a burnt offering of 2 young bulls and 1 ram and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with olive oil. With the ram, a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil, and with each lamb a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. This is for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord, which each bowl there is to be a drink offering of half a hin of wine. With the ram, 1/3 of a hin, and with each lamb, 1/4 of a hin. This is the monthly burnt offering to be made at each new moon during this year. Besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering, 1 male goat is to be presented to the Lord as a sin offering. On the 14th day of the first month, the Lord's Passover is to be held. On the 15th day of this month, there is to be a festival. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast. On the first day hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Presented to the Lord a food offering consisting of a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull offer a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10, including 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Offer these in addition to the regular morning burnt offering. And this way present the food offering every day for 7 days as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. It is to be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. On the day of first fruits, when you present to the Lord an offering of new grain during the festival of weeks, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Present a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram 2/10, and with each of the 7 lambs 1/10, including 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Offer these together with their drink offerings, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering. Be sure the animals are without defect. Wow. All right. Chapter 28, verses 1 through 2. Just as the offerings were to be brought regularly, so our fellowship with God should be a regular occurrence. It should be a continual reality for believers. God desires more than ritual in our worship. He invites us to have a day-by-day relationship with Him. Like that. Chapter 28, verses 1 through 8. Only through continual fellowship with God could God's people expect to have victory as they entered the promised land. This is probably the reason for repeating the instructions for the burnt offering. Here it was a reaffirmation of its significance for the new generation. By bringing the offering, a person was committing his or her life to God in a fresh way. In a similar way, the Apostle Paul called us to present our bodies as living sacrifices to God. This is an essential step for our spiritual growth as we place our lives in God's hands. He will change us through His power. Okay. So tomorrow we will start off at chapter 29. We did it. We got 4 chapters in. We did it, guys. I mean, obviously we still got some chapters to read, but we did it. We got 4 chapters read. But now we can say our prayer. Dear God, we come to you tonight just absolutely blessed. We are just totally infatuated with your words, Lord. We just want to continue walking this pathway. We hope that you can keep us on this righteous path. Keep anybody that's watching at home in your hearts, and in your heart. Please lead them to your word as we try to help them and help lead them to your word, God. Tonight we stand before you happy and healthy, and we just pray that we and our families continue to be happy and healthy and safe. In God's name, amen. Not the greatest prayer, but getting pretty tired, so that's always fun. I hope everybody has a great rest of their Friday night. I hope everybody stays tuned for tomorrow's video. I do want to pray for anybody that might be going through anything. If you do have something for me that you'd like for me to pray about, please comment on the video and I will pray for you. We did it. 4 more chapters in. We'll be through the book of Numbers in no time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Have a great Saturday. It's my son's birthday party tomorrow. His first birthday party. So he's turning 1. That means whatever. Have a great Friday night. Have a great Saturday. I will talk to you tomorrow, and we'll get this show even further down the road. Have a good night.